upon a time, Sundays were wonderful things, lazy, peaceful fun. Then along came the evil alarm clock and it chased the fun away. Yes folks, raise your hand if your Sunday now looks a lot like this. Sure your Sunday special, that it isn't overcast with the prospect of Monday looming up ahead, then this is the show for you. Yes, welcome to our special on Sunday Brunch. It's the kind of show that's guaranteed to help chase those Monday blues away, as is our first stop of the day. I won't say more just yet, simply that it's one for all seasons. Hello.
Hi, welcome to Sanchi.
Thank you so much. This is not entirely normal, is it, right?
No, this is our Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
So we've tied it up exclusively with Verse Clico.
Yeah.
And we have a range of cuisines. So let me take you through it.
Perfect. And as I look around, it occurs to me that while that might be an accurate introduction, it could also qualify as understatement of the year. Sunday brunches, by very definition, are time out from the humdrum, their indulgence. Let's face it, all too often they're flat-out debauchery. So when I say that what Sanchi at the Four Seasons offered is not just a brunch, you should believe me. It's so extensive, in fact, that I suspect it qualifies as extreme eating. This, folks, is a feast. Spread over two vast, airy levels with 4 cuisines and dozens of counters, this might be one of the biggest parties in town. And look around to know that I am not the only one that thinks so. It's excess, pure and simple, and I can't wait to get started. The question is, where? I mean, look at this.
Well, when you're looking at 4 cuisines, each has so much to offer.
Yeah.
So we try to encapsulate as much as we can in one buffet. So the whole concept of our brunch is that it's all fresh, small portions, cooked individually, cooked to order. We don't want you to be bored. We want that you can come back week after week and still have something that you haven't tried before.
So okay, let's break it down then, since here you really need to be strategic. There's the Indian counter, which will greet you first with again everything you could hope for. Idlis for those who miss breakfast, biryani for those looking to miss dinner, dal, meat, dhokla, a tandoor that doesn't stop, and oh yes, pani puri shots. Cheers. And with that, we're off. The next counter is the Chinese counter. Here tandoors make way for sizzling woks. The steam billows, the duck is carved, the dim sum boxes stack up. That's a lot of food, if you look just in terms of distance.
And that's only half of it.
Right, so before I head upstairs, it might not be a bad idea to, well, start loading up. The range is staggering. The fabulous Chinese barbecue section, choose from chicken, duck or pork. Move on to those crisp bites of golden fried goodness, the tempura. Try some fried rice, stir fry done to order, or pile up on their extensive range of dim sum. Because really, if it's there, why wouldn't you? There's more! Alright, I think that's not a bad start. Let's see what they're offering upstairs. Okay, wow. Here we have the Thai and Japanese selection. Remember that they have separate kitchens for each cuisine and be amazed. There are curries of all kinds, salads in gorgeous little glasses, fresh, spiced, so very nice. There's sushi of all sorts, sashimi by the slice. There's a cold counter where I can choose from crab, mussels, shrimp or slabs of marinated salmon. I have to ask, is this much food even legal? Because, oh yes, just in case that wasn't enough, do check out the teppanyaki station. Alright, so I think I've chosen quite well, and now that it's all piled up, let's make it disappear very fast. But first, my first glass of verve, that fine, lovely champagne. And then the food. There's no way I could try it all, but as you may have noticed, I was ready to try quite a bit. And yes, it's sensational.
Everything here is tasty. Everything here is more than tasty, and I mean everything. There are close to 200 items to choose from, one tastier than the other. I mean, come on, you tell me, what's a girl to do?
The salads are sublime, the sushi so fresh it might have been swimming a few minutes ago. But the barbecue, that's where it's at.
If I came back for nothing else, I would come back for this, except clearly, as I have already established, I will be coming back for so much else as well. It's a bit of a conundrum.
This with a scary thought, one more counter to hit up.
The whole concept with the desserts was that we were using our existing back-of-house kitchen. So we wanted to make it have the feel of a kitchen, but still be an elegant dessert buffet. It's got that Hansel and Gretel charm, walking into a candy store.
Good God, will you look at this? Honestly, I don't think I have ever seen anything quite like this. Pastries of every shape, size and color you can imagine. Mousses, macarons, custards, cakes, croissants, lamingtons, profiteroles, parfaits, layer after layer, row after row of luscious goodness.
Here we're doing chocolate, so we have milk chocolate, white chocolate and dark chocolate, each with matching mousse and truffles.
There's candy, there are fresh fat Belgian waffles best drowned in caramel and chocolate, there are molten chocolate fondants, there's the blueberry and frangipani pie, or there's the banana toffee one. And with that, once again into the breach I go. I may not survive it, but it will be worth it. Talk about a groaning table. This is not indulgence, this is several levels up from that. And it's all so deliciously decadent, yes, even the green one. That's a pistachio flavoured profiterole that might be the best of the lot, though I will confess it has a lot of competition. And before I attach myself to this seat forever, I must hold myself out because you see, duty calls. So yes, such are the perils of my job that I have more brunches to hit. Do I have the best gig or what? Moving on from self-congratulation, the table has been the talk of South Mumbai since it opened, and with good reason. And yes, this is our second time here, but then you can't judge their brunch by their dinner, can you? You can't. So, as I sit down with the team behind it, the first thing I want to know is how they put the munch into their brunch without a buffet behind it.
You know, when I came to Bombay, they had this big buffets all over Bombay, 5 stars and standalones. But I'm used to San Francisco, your custom made, whether it's pancakes or waffles. So that's what I wanted to do. That was the brunch for me.
It's just a nice, long, drawn-out post-hangover meal. It's sunny, and you just want to go. You want to be outside, and you know, that's what I associate Sunday brunch with. Just sort of a really happy meal.
And happy does come to mind as the cocktails roll out. What? No point to Sunday indulgence without some hair of the dog, though here that doesn't begin to cover it.
I would say that brunch is more about the indulgence and starting what will later become a night of debauchery right before you wake up for your horrible Monday morning.
The idea was to try and find, you know, a liquid version of the great menu that Alex was doing with the food.
Everything, the whole menu of the food menu is again about market, what we get, the fresh produce and all. And we bring the same thing with cocktails.
So there's a truffle martini. Yes, a truffle martini. Then there's that wonderful English Pimm's, light and lovely. There's the air conditioning in a glass they call a cucumber cocktail. And then there is that brunch staple, the Bloody Mary.
No, the idea is to do popular things, but with a twist. I guess the Bloody Mary made entirely with freshly squeezed tomatoes, and we make our own secret spice mix.
So now it's on to the eats. I start with one thing no brunch can be complete without. Waffles, Belgian style, sweet with a hint of sour, coated with caramelized bananas and walnuts. Say goodbye to hangovers forever, or else chase it away with their short stack of blueberry pancakes, butter melting over it, syrup pouring around it. This is the good stuff.
With breakfast, you can't really get away, or brunch, you can't really get away from the staples. You can do them better than other people, which is what we try to do. The process of making a pancake, say for example, there are a few steps that are really important. Combining all the dry ingredients, combining all the wet ingredients, and not over-mixing so that they're tough. Having the right amount of leavening so that it's fluffy.
I've eaten my way through almost an entire short stack. I should be ashamed, and in fact all I'm doing instead is trying to figure out how to justify having another one.
Then, because bread is necessary to soak up any excesses from the night before, I decide to try their Portobello BLT. Earthy, hearty, seriously satisfying, much like their truly epic table burger with fries. Lush, juicy, gorgeous. But the real surprise was this, a chili cheese toasty. Yes, everyone's favorite homemade snack, here done with light as air brioche and Taleggio cheese. The difference it makes.
As a kid, my mom would, slap a couple pieces of white bread and some cheese in between a couple irons and, make a grilled cheese sandwich. When I made that, it wasn't fulfilling that nostalgic need for the guest. And so I said, well, what is it that's similar to that? That is sort of the Indian version, which is the toasty. So we kind of took that and then souped it up to the next level.
And just when I somewhat foolishly thought the best was behind me, out came their lobster cake Benedict. The perfect poached egg, the hollandaise, the English muffin, and the big fat lump of lobster.
I'm a little annoyed. I had my brunch staple all worked out, which meant every time I went out for lunch, I had to have the classic bacon or ham Benedict. Now they go and serve me the lobster one, and everything's changed.
Then, in an effort to focus on fare that's actually good for me, I chose their green goddess salad, good enough to convert me, as was the table salad with its mini greens, fennel artichoke and truffle vinaigrette.
We found a really great source for these sort of petite lettuces, which had this incredible flavor for their size, and we've incorporated them into our table salad. So we managed to get these beautiful greens, which we feel are appropriate to give our name to.
The whole point of a brunch is a good greasy spoon up, right? Just eating all the fat, all the carbs, all the grease you can imagine. The table salad with its truffliness and greenness and gorgeousness is so good that how to tell you, this might be the dish I'll wind up coming back for.
And no, we're not done yet. Mention must be made of the orangey scones with Devonshire clotted cream. Stodgy, citrusy and super, and there's three words I never thought I'd say together. And then there is the sticky, sugary goodness of their warm cinnamon buns.
And after this it shall be written in stone that henceforth no breakfast shall be complete without cinnamon sticky buns.
I need more sundaes. Longer ones too, please.
So I was going to say before I embarrass myself completely, but let's face it, I crossed that mark a long time ago. But because I will have to move on at some stage or another, I think it's probably a good idea for me to take a break. We'll see you on the other side where the brunch madness continues. Alright, and now it's time for us to head all the way back to the beginning. Yes folks, we're heading inside to the place where the brunch buzz first began.
To call Indigo a South Mumbai institution is a bit like saying Everest is a big old hill. For over a decade now, it has been crowding the mill. And yes, if you were to trace back the boom of the brunch in Mumbai, the trail would probably lead you straight here. That it hasn't abated in 12 odd years is perhaps the real testament to what they're doing. And those of you who haven't availed of it, You're about to find out what the fuss is all about. Hint, it's a pretty encompassing affair. And as I head in to meet main man Rahul Akerkar, consider yourself warned that this will be a recurring theme.
Welcome.
Welcome to Insanity.
Yeah. It's sort of the morning after the night before kind of place, you know. And I know it sounds bloody cliche, but it's the truth. If you're having fun, you enjoy making the customer have fun.
The trouble starts and all the trouble ends too. Yeah. No, it's just that's our bar. Taklu here does a great job. Venki. Come on, Venki, smile a little bit.
So yes, the first thing you need to know before you even hit the buffet is this.
The philosophy here is not just all you can eat, all you can drink, but all they can make you drink and all they can make you eat. And in my case, clearly they didn't have to make me too hard.
And as my cocktails arrive, I can only give thanks for it. Are those 3 different kinds of shots?
The best way to avoid a hangover is to stay drunk.
That's like so meaningful, and with green apple, banana, lychee and Cosmo test tubes to choose from, I'm convinced.
It's not like I'm having this simply to, get toasted. The fact is, when you have had a rough night before, this is just remedial. It's medicinal even. I'm doing it for the betterment of me. Cheers.
This then should give you a clue as to what's coming up. Hint number 2, a lot.
Brunch was always a big deal for us, especially in New York City. You do this long, leisurely, debauched afternoon, food and drink. What I didn't like about the brunches in the States was that they were very contained. In other words, it was this or this, and so it sort of became an all-comprehensive deal, so to speak. And then you just sit and booze and eat all afternoon, and that's what it is.
Back to the buffet. Fresh, fun, full of surprising combinations, full of just a staggering amount. Slabs spilling over with cold cuts, platters of tuna carpaccio, salmon by the shovelful, stir fries of sausage, boatloads of curried prawn, mounds of mussels. Cool down with the cucumber and cashew nuts, warm up with their marvelous mixed mushrooms, or else give serious attention to the asparagus drowning in cheese. You do realize that with even this much covered, I haven't touched on the half of it. Because there's baskets spilling over with baked goods. Choose from donuts, croissants or their homemade hearty breads. Check out the cheese, and may I suggest forego the grapes and go for some bruleed figs instead.
Every flavor that you could hope to have on a morning before or a morning after is represented on this plate. If you want refreshing, if you want satisfying, if you want sweet, if you want stodgy, if you want hearty, if you want greasy, it's all here.
And speaking of all, here the best of both come together. After you've binged on the buffet, try some a la carte as well. I start with their famous Eggs Benedict, as good as I remembered, maybe better, since here waffle replaces English muffin. I also thought I should try their big bowl of risotto spilling over with garden fresh goodness, just what the doctor ordered.
Stodge.
Yes.
You need to absorb all that alcohol. You need to reset the carbs in the body. You need to reset the sugar level in the body. We have a lot of salads and stuff. Our entrees are pasta based, rice based, egg based.
Happiness based too, as their perfect pancakes arrive, and God, I love syrup. Then there's their minute steak, a plate made with heavy heads in mind. Greasy fried egg, perfectly pink steak. I'll take 5 more please.
I have to confess that one of my favorite hangover cures in the world has always been steak and eggs. I actually don't even need a hangover as an excuse to have this one. I'm just going to have it.
And then be afraid, be very afraid, the dessert counter. Lemongrass scented creme brulee? Yes please. Double chalk blocks of mud cake? Yes please. Date and nut bites of chewy goodness, or mango flavored cream, or orange flavored hunks of dark chocolate truffle? Definitely. Yes please. Grab all you can, settle in, and then prepare to top indulgence with still more indulgence.
So rarely, if ever, has anyone, I think, eaten quite as exhaustively as I have today. It's been such fun. It has been so extraordinary, so utterly and completely depraved that honestly, Monday, come along, do your worst. I've got this to fall back on. Cheers. I'll see you guys next week. Right now, I have a sangria and some chocolate truffle to get back to.